Okay, I'm calling the meeting to order. It is 6:31. And I would like to just mention, we are still getting a few complaints about the microphones. So I have learned that if you set it on the side like this and close up to you, you don't have to lean way over to try to get to it. This works better. As you can see, I'm really loud. So just mentioning that in case anybody wants to move where their mic is located. But letting you know. Okay, would the clerk call the roll, please?
Cowart. Cowart. Eisenman. Esri.
Here.
Furtado.
Here.
Goss.
Here.
Harper.
Here.
Ingram.
Yo.
King Taylor. Oh, okay. McGuire.
Here.
Patterson. Rector.
Here.
Storr. Summers.
Here.
Taylor. Thorsland.
Present.
Tinsley. Vachaspati.
Here.
Wolkin.
Here.
Young.
Here.
Clemens.
Here.
Clifford. Rosales.
Here.
We have a quorum present. The meeting is moving along. Tonight, I would like to read this piece of information for the prayer. Hate has 4 letters. So does love. Enemies has 7 letters. So does friends. Lying has 5 letters. So does truth. Negative has 8. So does positive. Anger has 5 letters, so does happy. Right has 5 letters, so does wrong. Hurt has 4 letters, so does heal. We should choose the better side of life. Would you please rise for the pledge? Okay, would the clerk read the notice of the meeting, please?
Notice is hereby given that a regular meeting of the County Board, Champaign County, Illinois, will convene on September 19th, 2019 at 6:30 p.m. in the Loud Shields Meeting Room, Brookings Administrative Center, 1776 East Washington Street, Urbana, Illinois, in said county for the purpose of allowing and ordering payments of claims against the county, receiving and acting upon reports of committees, and such other matters as may be brought before said meeting, which said meeting shall continue in session from day to day until the completion of said business.
Okay, next we have approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Mr. Rosales, Mr. Esri, any discussion? Seeing none, those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Okay, next is the date and time of the next regular meetings. There are several this time. We have the regular standing committees for highway transportation, county facilities, and environment and land use. Then we have our committee of the whole meeting. And then the special meeting of the finance committee of the whole will be meeting on September the 26th. This is the special meeting for the county board to talk about the budget. Packets are on your desk with the blue cover. That'll be the last information that you'll be getting about the budget before that meeting. That's the agenda. We thought we'd save some postage. And the public hearing on truth and taxation also is October the 24th before the regular board meeting, so be sure and come a little bit early for that one. And it's required that we publish that stuff early, so just letting you know that. Okay, public participation tonight. We do have some public participation. The first person is the County Clerk, Erin Amins. Would you please step over there to the desk?
Good evening. All right, so I'm here tonight to address some lies that have been told about me by Mr. Goss. So I want to have an open letter that I'm going to read to the board. So this is an open letter to Jim Goss from one of the most unqualified candidates ever. So earlier this month, Champaign County Board member Jim Goss provided a lengthy, inaccurate, and derogatory interview to the Rantoul Press about myself and other Democratic department heads. While Mr. Goss's interview sounded like a campaign speech, there were some parts that really stood out to me. For example, he said the newly elected countywide Democrats have struggled mightily and are the most unqualified candidates ever. These are serious accusations, and we need to take a moment to set the record straight. Mr. Goss has never spoken to me personally about any issue related to the county board or my office. He has ignored or declined numerous invitations to tour the clerk's office, meet our staff, view a demonstration of our outdated and unsecure election equipment, or otherwise gather any actual facts about any issue he wants to address. Mr. Goss was quoted saying Amins was in over his head from the get. Actually, Mr. Goss, from the get, I have been positive and committed while dealing with years of administrative neglect, an orchestrated exodus of veteran staff who left with intellectual property of the county, serious election security issues, incomplete or completely missing personnel records, a 10-year gap in staff evaluations, a culture of unfair promotion practices that left qualified female candidates overlooked while Republican Party insiders or donors were fast-tracked, and a voter registration program that was not maintained, causing serious issues that are documented by the State Board of Elections, just to name a few. And a quick point of clarification of a blatant lie told by Mr. Goss. 11 of the 14 staff members in the clerk's office are AFSCME members, not at-will employees who were likely to be fired anyway. If Mr. Goss had any direct contact with me on this issue, he would also know that prior to being sworn in, I sent a letter to the staff making it very clear that I wanted everyone to stay, that I was interested in doing the work of serving the taxpayers, and I reassured the staff that I would not hold any ill will towards any of them, regardless of what may have transpired during the course of the campaign. If you look at our staff today, you will find a beautiful balance and representation of Champaign County, a goal of this county board. I'm especially appreciative of the veteran staff that stayed on. They have led by example as team players, sharing their knowledge and providing guidance and training to our newer staff members. Under my leadership, we have been able to promote from within, and our outside hires have led to the most diverse staff ever in the clerk's office. We have leveraged over $143,000 in grants, with an additional $100,000 coming in 2020. We have built partnerships with the University of Illinois, MTD, Parkland, and smaller community-based organizations, hosted voter registration drives, ran an election, maintained excellent vital records, handled our portion of the property tax cycle despite issues that were out of our control. We, with the help of former lead tax extension specialist Andy Rhodes, hosted an educational presentation for the road commissioners right here in this room who needed assistance adjusting to the new aspects of the property tax cycle. And through marriage licenses, business licenses, and birth certificates, we have positively impacted the lives of Champaign County residents every day. Also, we recently finished a series of 6 tax town halls that spanned Champaign County, explaining the property tax cycle, answering important questions from the public, and offering clarity on exemptions and the lateness of the bills this year. Mr. Goss did not attend any of those 6 tax town halls, not even the one in Muhammad, the district that he represents. In his interview, Mr. Goss said, I like that Amins likes to talk about elections. Absolutely I do, Mr. Goss, because elections have consequences. And it appears to me that what you're really upset about is decades of negative consequences being unwound by the newly elected Democratic department heads, and you don't like what it's uncovering or the new direction that the county is headed in. In the future, Mr. Goss, you owe it to your constituents to get the facts straight and show them what you're doing. What ordinance, resolution, or improvement to public policy have you initiated and passed? Many people like to criticize the work of others, but where's your work? Mr. Goss, please stop lying to the people of Champaign County and stop trying to cast doubt and create discord. Republicans aren't the department heads because the majority of the residents of Champaign County chose Democratic leadership. It's called the
Erin.
will of the people.
Erin, you got to wrap up.
Oh, just a second. It is clear that Mr. Goss only wants to play partisan politics, lie, and misrepresent what is actually happening. It's a methodology that is straight out of President Donald Trump's playbook, complete with attempts to stoke the flames of sexism, racism, and homophobia when he says that we are the, quote, most unqualified candidates ever. Ever?
Erin, you do have to wrap up. Your 5 minutes is up.
Oh, so now you're interested in governing how long people speak?
There's a time limit on the public
So I'll be finished in just a
participation.
second. The fact that 2 women, 2 openly gay men, and an African American were Democratic candidates for 5 county-wide offices and now in charge of the 5 departments that were previously held for decades by white male heterosexuals is not lost on me or the voters of Champaign County. Sincerely, Erin Amins, Champaign County Clerk. I notice you don't have your MAGA hat today. I'm sure you will. You seem to take it with you everywhere you go. Any questions?
Okay, there's no questions in public participation. Thank you. The next person that has wanted to speak tonight is Chris Houseman. Is your microphone on?
I
It should be,
think so.
if there's a light, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a while since I've been able to come and address the group here. The last time I was standing there, you made a stand and everybody was facing that direction, so it's been a while. But again, good evening. My name is Chris Houseman. I farm down in the Pasodum area, and I'm also here representing the Champaign County Farm Bureau tonight. I am a past president of the Champaign County Farm Bureau, and I'm also a current drainage district commissioner that represents the Pasodum area, the Pasodum Consolidated Drainage District. Property taxes play a critical role in funding many of the vital services here in Champaign County. And the bottom line is, while no one enjoys paying property taxes, they are a necessary function to support our schools, the county, and entities like the Forest Preserve. There are many important steps in the taxing and assessment cycle. It starts with the levy and ends with the taxing districts getting their appropriated funds. The task of properly dispersing the funds that the citizens of Champaign County entrust to their county government falls to the county treasurer. It is the job of that office to properly disperse the appropriate funds to all taxing districts in a timely, transparent, and efficient manner. Recently, it has come to the Farm Bureau's attention that drainage districts have not received any of their funding from the treasurer's office, even though the first installment of tax bills were due back July 1st, a full 2 months ago. We also believe that drainage districts may be one of the only entities that appear on your tax bill that has not received at least a portion of the money paid by the taxpayers. This means that schools, fire protection districts, and townships have gotten at least some, if not all, of their funding. While an argument can be made that the service a drainage district offered doesn't compare to educating our kids or responding to emergencies, I can argue that drainage is vital to the agriculture industry and as such vital to Champaign County as a whole. While we fully understand staffing and technology changes have created challenges, that reasoning falls short as it appears that all other taxing bodies have gotten at least a portion of their respective tax dollars. The taxing and assessment cycle can be complicated, but to have drainage districts singled out and not receiving a single cent of their dollars that the county has received is unacceptable. Many of these districts have been doing maintenance work so that the effective drainage can continue, and contractors are waiting for payment in several cases. The county knows all too well of the challenges of having vendors waiting for payments and the trickle-down impact these unpaid bills can have on them. The Farm Bureau is urging the county treasurer distribute the funds that they have already received, which are earmarked for drainage districts, as quickly as possible. There is absolutely no reason for the county not to be distributing these funds. Thank you.
Okay, is there any more public participation this evening? Okay, seeing none, we'll close that part of our meeting. Next on the agenda is the consent agenda. This will be, we need a motion. Mr. Esri, Ms. Cohort, and this will take a roll call vote.
Cohort? Esri?
Yes.
Furtado?
Yes.
Goss?
Yes.
Harper?
Yes.
Ingram?
Yes.
McGuire?
Yes.
Patterson? Rector?
Yes.
Summers?
Yes.
Thorsland?
Yes.
Fatchaspati?
Yes.
Wolkin? Young?
Yes.
Clemens?
Yes.
Clifford? Rosales?
Yes.
Okay, that motion passes. The consent agenda is approved. Does any board member have communications this evening? Mr. Ingram?
Hello. Just wanted to make sure that everybody in the room and also maybe watching at home, all 6 or 7 of you, were aware that there are still 2 training events left for the CU one-to-one mentoring program. It's the first step in becoming a mentor. It's a pretty quick evening where you just go and you kind of learn a couple things. You fill out an application to get your background check done so that you can be in the schools. But it's one of the best programs I find in this town as far as giving back to the community and actually making an impact with relatively little time. It's an hour a week on school grounds during the school year with a mentee that you usually get hooked up with somewhere between their 3rd and 4th grade, or 3rd and 6th grade year. We have at Champaign-Urbana schools, we have waiting lists at literally every single one of those schools. There are kids that are asking for mentors, and we do not have enough of them, particularly men. And so I sit on their board, and it's one of the most rewarding things that I do with my time. And I actually have a mentee who is he's a freshman at Central. He is the starting quarterback for the freshman football team. Is actually playing right now, so hopefully my wife's getting good pictures for me. But Thursday, the 26th of September at 6:30 p.m. and Wednesday, the 9th of October at 11:30 a.m. are the 2 scheduled training sessions that are left. Those are both at the Mellon Administrative Building in Champaign. Anybody who has any questions that might be here or watching at home is you're more than welcome to ask me any questions about the program. It's not the only mentoring program in Champaign. There's also Big Brothers Big Sisters. There are a couple of other ones that are also great. This is the one that you actually go to the school. You don't have to pick anybody up on the weekends or do anything like that. But for people that ask often what not easy, but what they can do with the little time that they have, this is one of, I think, the most rewarding things, especially for the amount of time put in. So if anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Thorsland?
Yeah, I have 2 things. Quick one, we have a household hazardous waste event coming up in Champaign County. It's a rare event. We on ELOC get to hear a lot about it, but it's also available. It's on the county website. Most importantly, you have to register. The registration opened on the 23rd of September. It is at hhwevent.simplybook.me, and you can find that on the county website. You pick a time slot and you show up with things. You also have the list of the things you can do. My other comment, I want to thank Erin for coming and trying to set the record straight. I was away working overseas, but somehow the Rantoul Press managed to find me. And I would like to say a few things about this article slash campaign speech given in a cornfield, apparently. It was small, and it saddens me. And maybe people don't know, but I ran for District 1 3 times. I lived in District 1. I own farm ground in District 1 still. My kids went to the Muhammad School. I was the president of the Muhammad Area Youth Club board for 2 years, and I've spent a lot of time with Mr. Goss as a member of the Muhammad Lions Club. We've served the community, built fences, gave them beer when they decided they weren't dry anymore. And it's sad, and I'm disappointed in Jim. I understand he worries about experience. I want to ask, what experience did Mr. Holton have when he took the office? He had 55 votes as a precinct committeeman, wound up appointed to the city council, and then wound up appointed when Mark Sheldon left to work for Tim Johnson, which was probably not the best career decision Mark made, and suddenly was the clerk of the county and ran as a de facto incumbent in his first actual
Madam
election.
Chair, point of order. Is this
Point of order
appropriate?
is decorum, sir, and we're expected to
I'm
work
asking,
here.
I'm asking the
I
county.
have the floor.
I'm asking the county executive, point of order, is this appropriate under board communications? Thank you.
Absolutely.
I would agree with the point of order. This is a political speech during participation.
Oh, that's very good. It's also not the time to advertise your business on your shirt, Mr. Rector, but we'll talk about that later.
Okay, good. Calm down, guys. This is a
Go
meeting.
Cubs, thank you. Yeah, I would like
Okay,
to finish
but
if I
let's
may.
stick to the business of the board, please.
Well, I'm getting to the business. This board's
Okay.
expected to make decisions for the county and work in unison. We were all elected officials here, including all the officials that were mentioned in this article. The idea of the article, I guess, was to cause division, including with the Dems and you, Darlene, if you notice. And I just am disappointed, and I think it's a little projectionism when the top of the Republican Party right now is run by someone who's completely unprepared for office. And maybe feelings are hurt, but the election's done, and we won. And we need to all work together to move the county forward. We've got plenty of work to do. So I'm sorry, but I'm just really disappointed.
I think we need to confine the communications to business matters and not personal attacks on people in the board. So if you have things to say about the community events or other communication of boards and commissions, things like that, those are appropriate. Personal attacks to other members of the board are not. So keep that in mind. Okay, is there anything else in communications? We will move on. I did want to point out to the board that I did bring a special tool tonight to help with decision-making on our decision items. I brought the Magic 8-Ball. So if anybody would like to take advantage of that, we can use that as our decision-making tool. Okay, next is approval of the minutes. May the executive have a motion to approve the minutes for August the 22nd, 2019. Mr. Vachaspati? Can I get a second? Mr. Harper, any discussion? Those in favor? Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes, which are the closed session minutes? Have they been around?
Nope.
No, they have not been around. Okay. We can move this agenda item to later. We haven't looked at all the minutes yet, so let's move that to the end of the meeting, please. Standing committees. County facilities, summary of action taken September 3rd, 2019. Meeting is accepted and placed on file. The highway and transportation summary of action taken September 6th, 2019. Meeting is accepted and placed on file. Under areas of responsibility, summary of action taken September 10th, 2019 at the Committee of the Whole is accepted and placed on file. So we're down to number 12A under finance. Would the finance chair make the committee's recommendation regarding item 1?
I move adoption of resolution number 2019-277, establishing salaries of elected officials, circuit clerk, auditor, coroner, recorder, and county board chair.
Can I get a second? Mr. Clifton? Any discussion? Isak is here if people have questions. Okay, those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? That was who? 2? 3? Raise your hands if you were opposed. Oh, yeah, it's still passed. Okay, fine. Yeah, that's fine. It was not unanimous. Okay. Would the finance chair like to make the committee's recommendation regarding item 2?
I move adoption of ordinance number 2019-278, establishing a county cannabis retailer's occupation tax in County of Champaign, Illinois.
Mr. Rosales is seconding. Any discussion? Thank you. These get passed around. Okay. For those of you that haven't seen closed minutes before, these get passed around and you check off that you've seen them. Sorry. Mr. Patterson.
I guess I just had more of a question of where this revenue would go to, if that's even something that we know at this point, because I mean, obviously this is a brand new thing, and we're going to start collecting the tax January, and our budget starts January, so how does that work?
It has not been budgeted because we have no idea how much we'll collect or what it should be used for.
Can you speak to what the process will be for that?
Tammy, do you want to talk to that?
I have spoken to the state's attorney's office about this question, and they are going to be researching whether or not there are any restrictions. I don't believe that there are, but we'll have to have discussions with them about the appropriate place to put this revenue when we do start receiving it, whether we create a new line for it, whether we create a department for it. I doubt we would create a new fund, but I have started the conversation with them, so once they're able to provide some more direction, we can bring that back to the board.
Okay, any further discussion? Seeing none, those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? One person opposed. Okay. Motion carries. Next, we move to policy, personnel, and appointments. Would the policy chair make the committee's recommendation for items 1 through 11? You want to do them individually or as an omnibus motion?
Which way is the fastest way?
Omnibus motion.
On the who motion?
Omnibus motion. That means you can do all of them together.
Okay, I just read them all through, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I move 1 through 11, the adoption of resolution number 2019-249, appointing Lucas Harry to Pasodum Consolidated Drainage District. Number 2, adoption of resolution number 2019-250, appointing Steve Moser to the Silver Creek Drainage District. Number 3, adoption of resolution number 2019-251, appointing Dwayne Hirsch to the Sangamon and Drummer Drainage District. Number 4, adoption resolution number 2019-252, appointing Dennis Butler to the Pasodum Slot Special Drainage District. Number 5, adoption resolution number 2019-253, appointing Jerry Thines to the Union Drainage District. Number 1, Crediton and Philo. Number 6, adoption resolution number 2019-254, appointing William Williams to the Union Drainage District. Number 2 of St. Joe and Ogden. Number 7, adoption of resolution number 2019-255, appointing Joseph Al to the Beaver Lake Drainage District. Number 8, adoption of resolution number 2019-256, appointing Steve Winfall to the Upper Embarrass Drainage District. Number 9, adoption of resolution number 2019-257, appointing A. Lee Roberts Jr. to the Zoning Board of Appeals. Number 10, adoption of resolution number 2019-258, appointing Rachel Voss to the Rural Transit Advisory Group. And number 11, adoption resolution number 2019-259, adopting Mark Ickrell to Sedor's Fire Protection.
Is there a second? I'm sorry, I missed. Mr. McGuire? Any discussion?
Yes, I'm rejecting all 11. So I will be saying nay. Dr. Young, you can record that.
Any other discussion? Okay, those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed?
Nay, Dr. Young.
Okay, we're moving on to new business. The first item is property tax levy rate projected fiscal year 2020. It's for your information only. We are required to distribute this to the board prior to the truth in taxation hearing, so you're getting it this evening for your information. Item B is the fiscal year 2020 budget increase request information and general corporate fund consolidated budget, again, for information only. You have received several documents now in the past 2 or 3 meetings for the budget. These are all items that it would be great if you would bring your items with you to the financial meeting coming up if you want to reference them, because we're not planning on recopying all of them. A lot of them are really large documents. So thanks for saving on printing costs. Number C, adoption of resolution number 2019-275. Can I get a motion? Mr. Rosales? Second by Mr. Clifford. Any discussion? Mr. Goss, are you discussing? I see
No,
your.
I'm ready to say yay.
Oh, okay. Those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, motion passes. Can I get a motion for item D? Okay, Ms. Cowart? Second, Mr. Rosales? Any discussion? Ms. Furtado?
So this is by far, I think, the smallest one of these I've ever seen. Usually there's a few more items. I just want to make sure I understand, it's just that the 556 tax was paid accidentally? Is that what the situation was here? Is that why it's on the not, or is it just because it was a credit card payment? I just want to understand what is it that put it on the not following purchases? Is it because it was a credit card purchase, or is it just because of the tax?
Oh, probably the tax.
Okay.
Yeah, the county shouldn't be paying tax.
Yeah, so it just was like it slipped through the cracks?
Well, if we pay by credit card, sometimes we don't have a choice.
Okay. I just wanted to
yeah.
understand what made it come on here. Okay, thank you.
Mr. Patterson?
I guess just as a general question to these types of votes, is there a reason why we don't list? I mean, we list like the department, we list what the expenditure was, where it was spent, how much it was, but we don't list the reason why it's showing up on the list. We do. Do we? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Yeah. All right, never mind.
Okay. Are you ready to vote? Those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Okay, tonight, there's not any other business, but I want to remind the board that I'm sorry, there is other business. Somebody else had something for other business? I'm sorry, I'm sorry, we moved the minutes, you're right. Is the minutes been all the way around? Okay. Steve?
Bit of information, Cardinals won, Cubs nothing.
Oh, okay. That's not county business either, Mr. Summers. Okay.
Unless the Cubs will win it.
All right. I just want to mention to the board that we're not going to be adjourning the meeting tonight. We're going to be recessing the meeting because we're in the financial process. We have to leave the meetings open for the hearings and that sort of thing. So tonight we'll just recess the meeting until the October 24th, which is the next meeting of the board. So as soon as this gets around, we can go ahead and finish our last item. Okay. Can I get a motion to approve the closed minutes? Mr. Thorsland, Mr. Patterson, Mr. Vajspati, sorry. Any discussion? We really can't discuss these. Okay, those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. The minutes will be approved. Okay, that's the end of the business for this evening. The meeting is adjourned.
Whoa,
No, I'm
the
sorry.
meeting is
Whoops, sorry.
recessed.
Whoops, I'm sorry, roll call, you're right, roll call. No, what are,
No,
oh,
the
no,
meeting is
recess,
recessed.
I'm sorry, I was like, we don't need a roll call. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry, the meeting is recessed. No, you don't have to do a roll call for, we're not voting on that.